Artificial harmonics, sometimes called pinched harmonics, that relates to the actual sort of technique that we use to produce them. Now they're different from the natural harmonics. They're the ones that I've done previously that sound like the nice chimey bell type sounds. Artificial harmonics have got a lot more aggressive, the screechy, squealy sound to them. Often hear it played with a distorted sound on the amplifier, but you can do them with a clean sound. Quite difficult to achieve on an acoustic guitar, so I'm cheating a little bit because I'm on electric, just to be able to get the sound across a little bit more. So in terms of what they sound like, you're going to be hearing something like for our artificial harmonics. The notes I was playing were just some basic notes out of an A minor pentatonic scale. I've covered that in another video, which will sound like that if I'm just picking them normally. So by adding that pinched harmonic technique, artificial harmonic technique, that's the effect you're going for. I'll have a quick blast at the end with a distorted sound because they really do jump a lot more on that, but just so I can show they're accessible to anyone with a clean sound, I'll decide to start with this. Now, the big difference between the natural harmonics, which were the ones, and these pinched ones, is the hand technique. With the natural harmonics, it was all about our fretting hand technique, position and pressure. With the artificial harmonics, it is all about your picking hand technique, and you need to be playing them with a plectrum. So your fretting hand technique is going to be exactly the same as playing any other notes, or even open strings. You can, if I can mute the other ones, you can play them on open strings, but if you're going to play them anywhere else with a fretted note, your fretting hand technique is exactly the same as if you're just playing the notes normally. So you don't have to do anything new with this hand. So how do I achieve the different sound? The best way that I can explain it, again, it's going to come down to your feel and your practice, and probably going over and over and over it quite a few times so you just get that touch just right. But if I can show you my normal sort of my plectrum technique, how I normally hold my plectrum in my picking hand. Hope you can see it on the focus, but that's the amount of plectrum. What I want you to see is how much plectrum I'm exposing, so how much plectrum I'm showing to the strings. To perform these artificial harmonics, I want to be showing a bit less plectrum to the strings. So what I do in my technique, there's probably other ways you can do it, is I just roll my thumb round a little bit so that I've got less plectrum exposed. So regardless of what I'd normally play with, the amount of plectrum that's sticking out that you can see, I'm going to roll round a bit so I've got less plectrum. The reason I'm doing that is that when I pick the note, I want to make contact as normal, more or less, with the pick, but at the same time, or more or less the same time, I want to be catching it with a little bit of flesh on my thumb as well, and that's what creates the harmonic. As I say, it's probably not something you can just pick up and do straight away. You'll have to practice it a little bit just to get the right amount of just flesh and plectrum at the same time. But if you want to create those sort of squeaky squealy sounds, it's well worth, the rewards are well worth the practice. Another thing to mention as well, similar to the natural harmonics, is where in relation to up and down the string you want to be picking these things. I don't know if you noticed, but I was picking in a slightly different position with my picking hand than what I normally use to play. In my normal relaxed playing position, I'd probably say I just put my hands on. My picking hand tends to be sort of somewhere around the bridge saddle area with a palm hand, so that gives me easy access to palm muting. It's just my comfortable playing position. It's not quite the optimal place to be picking for the harmonics. You will find that you might need to move your hand slightly up this way to make the harmonics work for you. That's what I had to do. I had to come slightly more towards the nut on the guitar than what I would normally play at. So with experience, myself, I normally maybe play in that position. If I know I'm going to play a harmonic or some, I just move my hand slightly up. Again, that might feel awkward to you if you're used to being anchored in one place, but it's good practice anyway to be able to get used to different, how the instrument feels different when your hand's in different places, and you might just want to experiment with exactly where it is that you can generate these things. I know from my experience on playing this particular guitar that they tend to work for me somewhere around the back end of this pickup here. So across that line there, that's where approximately where those harmonics tend to work for me. So that's the sort of spot that I'm aiming for on this guitar, where I can be more successful at generating them. So you'll need to have a go with that for yourself. So for example, I'll play a sort of A note there, and I'll just move up and down playing these harmonics, and you can see they come off better at certain distances than others. And just have a go with that until you find the sweet spot where they sound more clear and jumping out more. When you get them spot on, they do really ring out nicely. Obviously a lot more with the distortion, but it definitely is all about your picking hand technique and just that little knack of just muting, using a little bit of the pad of your thumb to mute the string at the same time as you're picking it. And I can't really explain it any more than that. It is literally something that you just have to get the feel of doing for yourself and experiencing what works and what doesn't work. Just a quick warning, like when you're starting out and you first start playing, if you're not used to doing these things, you'll very quickly end up with a bit of a blister on your thumb if you haven't already built up the thick skin, the pad, the callus there to be able to do it without without generating a blister. So take it slow, take it easy, do a little bit of practice, and come back to it another time. Give your skin a little bit of a chance to build up. Just to finish off with, I did say I'd play it with the distorted sound, so you can hear how they normally sound in context to, well, certainly the way I learned playing them, but with a bit of overdrive distortion on the amp. Obviously they sing and they jump quite a bit more than what they would do with this clean sound that I'm playing with now. So I'm just going to switch to distorted sound. Same thing, I'll play those. That'll A minor pentatonic. So you can see, obviously with the added gain, the added amplification that the distorted sound gives you, it does make them jump out and squeak. Again, don't get into the habit of playing every note as a harmonic, because it'll lose the effect. It's one of those things that you probably want to throw in sometimes now and again to enhance the experience as a little bit of extra flavour in your normal playing style. But it's another great technique to learn is the artificial pinched harmonic. Enjoy.